Hey everybody, it's Andy here from We're All Around Gaming, coming at ya with part 4 of my Pokemon Crystal Let's Play. In the last episode, we obtained a third member of the team, Growlithe, or Zippo, as you remember. That was a pain in the butt. In this episode, we're going to be climbing Sprout Tower, and if we can make it, maybe challenge the gym leader. So let's go. This is a great place to train your Growlithe. Oh, dude, I was just here. And I know this is sounding like a cliche, but I am sorry for the lack of audio in the last video. While I was looking for Growlithe, I was using the turbo button, and I was still recording. And apparently it doesn't record audio while you're using the turbo button, and that just completely messed up everything that I had. We stand guard in this tower. Here we express our gratitude to honor all Pokemon. No, I think you stand here just to honor Bellsprout. Bellsprout. So this is Sage Chow. Yum yum. Reminds me of that old show Chowder. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but there's this purple dude. His name is Chowder. And he liked to eat food. And he lived in a kitchen with... That was one of the only cartoons that I actually liked. Like, I stopped watching cartoons when I was about probably like 12 years old. And... my brother still watches cartoons, and he would watch Chowder, and I could actually sit through an episode of Chowder. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't horrible, okay? But it wasn't good. Sometimes it was funny, like there was one where their assistant named Snitzel was playing a game, and he said he didn't want to be a piece of burnt toast. That was pretty funny back then when I was like 14. But they stopped airing that show for some reason. Now they show this stupid show called like... okay, sometimes the regular show is kind of funny. I have to watch that with my brother sometimes because he still likes to watch that stuff. But there's this one called Adventure Time, and I don't get how people like this. It is so stupid. It's so random, and it looks like somebody came up with the episode idea when they were high on acid, like, to a level where they're, like, almost overdosing. Like, I don't know how you come up with this. Whatever, so we go to level 7 with Zippo. 17 attack, that's pretty good. That special attack is looking pretty nice. And I'm just going to take Zippo throughout this whole tower. And he says, thank you. And I got 96 Pokédollars, another cheapo. Come on, let me move. There's actually an item up here, and it is an X accuracy. Let me explain the X items, because I might be using them. Basically, you can use them in battle, and they will raise the stat that it says by 1.5%. So if I have a 10 attack stat and then I use an X attack, it will bring it up to 15. And normally I would be catching a Ghastly. I'd be all over catching a Ghastly, but they're actually just they're not that good because you have to trade them to get Gengar. Oh, come on! I should have known that. There's a dude there. Sway like leaves in the wind. I feel like this gotta be like Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid. That's how I feel. That's how I would read these people in my mind. Sage Enderman. Oh, it's a guy with a normal name. I'm sorry if any of your name is Chow or Nico. I actually didn't know a kid named Nico. We used to play football with him, and well, when he did play, he just played football. He was on the football team just for the status, and pretty much like. He'd go to practice, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm coach. I'm sick. I can't play." And then, like, my favorite excuse was one day he went to Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch, and he said, "Coach, I can't play. I had Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch." You join football practice to toughen up. You don't do it to baby out. I always thought that was funny. The newbies would join the football team and they'd be like, yeah man, it's gonna be so cool, we're gonna hit some kids, I'm gonna be so good. And then they get out there and they just get demolished. And then one thing that I didn't understand about football practice was like, okay, we had this rule where if you didn't bring waters, then you had to bear crawl 100 yards, which is like probably about 90 meters for all you European people out there. And which kind of was contradicted itself, because if you didn't bring water, then why are you doing exercise? Darn it, I'm pretty sure we get Ember around here. Said, oh, I'm weak. That's something Mr. Miyagi would never say that. Never. Because he's Mr. Miyagi. A Pokemon statue. It looks very distinguished. How distinguished can a Bellsprout get? Then we get this nice potion here, which is really nice to have. And I'm actually going to be cutting out these battles with these sages, because let me just tell you, spoiler, spoiler, they all have Bellsprouts. Spoiler. So, I will be cutting once I beat all these sprouts. I defeated these 3 sages. I called them sprouts before I cut off. And, Growlithe or Zippo gained, like, I can't remember if it's 2 levels, but he learned Ember. I ran out of PP with Bite on the last Bellsprout. And they learned Ember at level 9. Elder, you are indeed skilled as a trainer. As promised, here is your HM. But let me say this. You should treat your Pokemon better. The way you battle is far too harsh. Pokemon are not tools of war. Humph! He claims to be the Elder, but he's weak. It stands to reason. I'd never lose to fools who babble about being nice to Pokemon. I only care about strong Pokemon that can win. I really couldn't care less about weak Pokemon. Carrot used an escape rope. Obviously, he's never met Team Plasma, because Team Plasma actually cares about Pokemon. And if you go over here, there's an escape rope, which I recommend getting before you battle this guy. And there's a reason I'm not cutting out this battle, because this battle right here is like the boss, the first major boss that you'll face. He is the master of Sprout Tower. So good of you to come here. Sprout Tower is a place of training. People and Pokemon test their bonds to build a bright future together. I am the final test. Allow me to check the ties between your Pokemon and you. Alrighty, so let's get this boss battle down. Let's do this. Alright, so Sage Lai, or Lala wants. He is a Bellsprout. I am so surprised. Well, I'm just going to use Ember, and there's no way a Bellsprout's going to live an Ember attack, because Ember is too strong. It's actually, I got a critical hit, and it didn't even matter. Let me tell you about same type attack boost. Same type attack boost, where if Growlithe gets any fire moves, because it's a fire type, that move will be, the power will be multiplied by 1.5. So example, Ember has 40 power. Since it's a fire type attack and Growlithe is a fire type, it gets same type of attack boost. So that brings it up to 60 power. So, he actually has a Hoot Hoot next. And I'm going to leave this battle up to Steve, because Steve learned the move in level 10. This is probably a bad idea, because I know this Hoot Hoot has Growl. Oh no, this is gonna take forever now. Wow, okay, I'm gonna have to switch to Growlithe. Because Growlithe is my beast now. It's my by far my strongest Pokemon, because it actually has a same type attack booster. I'm just gonna call it Stab from now on, so I don't get tongue twisted anymore. Because obviously I am very easily tongue twisted. And the reason I'm actually switching to Growlithe is because, I'll put it up on the screen here in a second, but there are certain types that use special attack and attack. For Fire uses special attack, and when he uses Growl, that's not going to affect my special attack. So oh wow, that was still pathetic. So yeah, it's kind of interesting because people right now are used to the physical special split, as the fans call it. And basically, which it actually makes sense, because for example, Thunder Punch in this game is actually special. And think about that. Oh, it's a speed tie, and I lost a speed tie. Oh, come on. So my Growlithe fainted, which I don't have a problem with, because that just means more EXP for Steve. Steve! I'm gonna call him Steve. I say Steve at the back of my throat. I remember the day that Steve Irwin died. I was sitting at a vet because we just got new kittens and we were waiting for them to get spayed. Or I think it's called spaying for female cats, I'm not sure. But we were sitting there watching Animal Planet and they said that Steve Irwin died, and I was sad. Because I remember actually liking the show Crocodile Hunter. I believe that was the name. Crocodile Hunter. And he'd be like, "Crikey, mate! This is a wild croc!" That was like his, I don't know if you youngsters remember that, but his like I can't think, catchphrase was "Crikey, mate!" because he was Australian. So he sounded like the guy in the Outback commercial. I have a horrible Australian accent. I have a pretty good British accent. You think I could go as a British person? See, British people don't say T's. They don't say R's and they don't say T's for some reason. You and your Pokemon should have no problem using this move. Take this Flash HM. Andy received. And actually, I'm not going to be using it because it sucks. Flash illuminates even the darkest of all places. But to use it out of battle, you need the badge from Violet's gym. So I know what we're doing next. I'm actually going to use the escape rope because I'm a Pokemon master and I know what all the items do and I don't feel like going all the way down. So as you can see, it is dark now because I basically recorded part 2 and 3 and then I took a break and then I realized that I totally messed up with the audio, and yeah, now I'm recording part 4 and it's nighttime. And the funny thing, I'm not even done with my Super Mario Sunshine LP and I'm doing this one. So actually, let's go to the Pokemon Center first. I will meet you guys at the gym. So here we are in front of the gym, ready to take our first challenge. Let's talk to this nerd guy over here. Hey, I'm no trainer, but I can give some advice. Believe me, if you believe a champion dreams can come true, you believe, then listen. The grass type is weak against flying type. Keep this in mind. Well, herder. Some of the Pokemon types like make sense. Like fire is weak to water. Water is super effective against fire. I get it. But the one I don't get is like Bug is super effective against Psychic, and Bug is super effective against Dark. And Grass is, or Poison is super effective against Grass. Like, I don't get it. Let me see if you're good enough to face Faulkner. And look at this guy. This sprite does not even match his. Look at that. He has a freaking mohawk and he's holding the cage. So he has a Spearow. And I have Zippo in the front. And fire should be super effective against flying. That would make sense. But it's not. Because birds don't like hot things. Except they like the south. Like, they fly from the north to the south all the time. And I have a feeling I'm going to be making a couple Pokemon Center runs here. There we go, I got a critical hit. See, critical hits are awesome. They just shorten the game. And Birdkeeper Abe was defeated. This can't be true! I just completely changed voices throughout that. Look, we don't have a glimpse of the gym leader yet. The keyword is guts. Those here are training night and day to become bird Pokemon masters. Come on, I'm not used to these text boxes. Like, I'm used to having Pokemon Black and White text boxes where they fit the whole idea and subject in a text box without having to scroll. Birdkeeper Rod watched a battle. Birdkeeper Rod sent out Pidgey. Okay, I'm gonna narrate this battle exactly like the guy from Pokemon Battle Revolution would be it. Growlithe uses Ember on its opponent. Pidgey takes some damage. Pidgey used Tackle. Growlithe, it just bounced right off of him. The Pokemon trainers are waiting. The Pokemon are patiently waiting for their trainers' orders. Growlithe used Ember on the Pidgey. Pidgey didn't take it very well. Pidgey used Tackle. Growlithe has hung on by the skin of its teeth. But Growlithe is going to prevail. Oh, Pidgey fainted. The trainer calls it back to its Pokeball. Look at those stats. He has one more Pokemon, but I'm going to let my Pidgey take on his Pidgey, and I'm not going to narrate the battles anymore. Like the guy from Pokemon Battle Revolution would, because I just epic failed that, okay? That was epic failure. And I'm just going to use Gust, because Gust, it just seemed like a good move to use. And mine's a way higher level, so there's no way he could beat me. Especially because he still has Tackle. Unless he gets like 3 crits and knock on wood. Like I said, I don't even know if this is wood. I think it's just wood with like wood laminate on it. But I don't know. It's a nice desk. I like it. It's where the magic happens, baby, if you know what I mean. Wow. Nothing happens on my desk. And even if it did, that would be disturbing. Gah! Ooh, they got money. So, there's the gym leader, and he's making my OCD go insane because he's not in the middle of the gym. Urgh! Why did they do this? Oh, this just hurts my OCD. He's on the right. Okay, so this is a good place to end the video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, deuces.